I'm with you there. But I'm thinking if the monograph is dead or might be dead in the foreseeable future, could the slack be taken up with the professional journal literature as a place to publish monographic monographic pieces, and still maintain the integrity, the scholarly integrity of the monograph?
We got to figure out some way to make electronic monographs acceptable. Now, there are some companies out there that the former associate dean here, Lynn Sutton, had her dissertation published by a company that is respectable. They actually have the dissertation peer-reviewed. They make editorial changes. They pay royalties. But it is quite clear that such a publication would not hold the same weight on a tenure and promotion committee than if the Wayne State University Press were to publish it. And so I don't know how we're going to get there. I had another idea connected with what you were saying. So I don't think it's going to go away, but it's going to be a painful transition. University presses actually are strategizing to develop everything they published available. They want to bring everything back in print, but only print on demand or electronic. And so that they will go through their list and make everything available that they've ever had. But the problem with this is copyright. And they have to look at the copyright agreements. I got some indications in a private conversation that some of them are just going to go ahead anyway and see what happens. So whether they've got the copyright or not, they're going to go ahead. I also discovered at this conference what I suspected. I could file a copyright suit against either ProQuest or Yale University because my dissertation is available digitally and I never gave permissions. And digital permissions are separate from the permissions I gave them when I graduated, and so they illegally made my dissertation available. And there are probably lots and lots of people in my same situation. And ProQuest points at Yale, and Yale points at ProQuest. But the best I can get is that Yale wanted all of its dissertations available digitally and didn't go through the nicety of talking to the people that actually held the copyright. Other places have. When Eric went digital, I got a note from them on all of the things where I held copyright, whether they wanted me, whether I would give them permission. And in those cases, it was informal copyright, meaning I owned it and didn't register. My dissertation is registered with the Copyright Office in my name, so I could sue them for statutory damages. They seemed actually a little bit worried when I talked to the representative of Yale University. She said they were going to go back and talk about it. So this is all together in a big ball, and we're looking towards the future, and maybe we're getting some glimmers, but what's really going to happen, we don't know about.
This may not be a central issue, but I've noticed some quality issues regarding things that are scanned by Google or others, or even books that are reprinted by a publisher photographically rather than printed the way they were before. You tend to see fuzzy print, less accurate illustrations, and sometimes the ones that are scanned are not the, quote, best editions. You might, I don't know, maybe it would be a Wizard of Oz book that they got a more recent black and white version rather than the original.
They're trying to do all of the editions of that. But you're right, there's articles on the scanning errors.
Sometimes the pages are not straight because they've been scanned.
Or it's also just the issue of typeface. Actually, I know a lot about this because I'm the second author on a study that one of my graduate students did that we got published. The page proofs are up for review on issues with the Google. And there's an Indian tribe, Native American tribe, and I don't know what the real name is, but if you search for porno Indians, you will find lots of material about this tribe because it's close enough in the spelling that the Google conversions have called them porno instead of what they really are. Maybe it's pomo or something, but it's close enough that you will get very inaccurate information by doing a keyword search because of issues with scanning. And actually the conclusion of the article was not so much that there were errors, but that Google didn't seem to want to have any way of anybody telling them to correct them. So that, probably for good reason, because there are so many that they would have to spend a lot of money. I will say about this what I always say, that the good achieved from their doing it is better than problems occasionally. And my second comment will be, I had to give my class a bibliography from 1953, and of the 25 entries, 2 of them had major mistakes in the author or the title. And so we weren't even that good back in the days of print. But you are correct. Yes, there are lots of, some places you can see a hand.
I also hope that you're too cynical when you discuss what might happen with faculty buying books and only leaving the library to get the expensive stuff, because I hope that faculty still care that the library have a collection that services their students, their graduate students. And we know that faculty members know that some of the best books are out of print.
Yeah.
But they still should be made available to students. They should be in the library.
Okay,
so I hope that faculty aren't ordering solely for their own research of the moment, but for the education of their students as well.
Or at some point they can give them to the library. We'd love to have them. I hope we would like to have them as guests. Okay, we have reached the witching hour.